She's 75 years old, yet looks like she's 40. And no, she did not undergo surgery. Her complexion is smooth, her stance is erect, and her eyes reflect clarity and peace. No injections, no Hollywood tactics, and no secret miraculous cream. Just a calm, focused life based on millennia of wisdom that most people have forgotten. I'd like to tell you about Keiko Sato, a 75-year-old woman I met in Osaka, Japan, who has entirely changed my perspective on aging. At first, I assumed she was in her 40s. I even made the unpleasant mistake of asking whether her parents were still living. She laughed and softly asked, "My parents. They passed away almost 30 years ago." That's when I realized something was unusual about her. She is not a celebrity. She's never experienced a viral moment. She doesn't even have a smartphone. However, she does have a manner of life. Simple, effective, and ageless. This is about more than simply skincare and diet, while those are important aspects. This is about philosophy, routine, community, grace. Most significantly, it is about something you and I can accomplish right now, regardless of our age. If you're a woman in your 60s or beyond who has ever felt like aging means fading into the background, I welcome you to join me for the next few minutes. Because Keiko's tale might prompt you to rework your own. Keiko was born in Kyoto in 1950. She grew up during Japan's Reconstruction period, when living was simple but not easy. Her father was a calligrapher, while her mother stayed at home to tend to their modest vegetable garden and tea corner. She became a teacher of literature and history. She stood in front of classes for over 3 decades, teaching teenagers patience, discipline, and poetry. However, her life was not just defined by her job. Keiko was married. Her spouse, Hiroshi, was a civil engineer who was quiet, courteous, and reliable. They spent 33 years together, raising 2 children in a small house filled with literature, laughter, and early morning routines. He died of cancer when Keiko was only 58. She doesn't say much about her loss, but you can sense it in the way she walks and honors his memory with ritual and grace every day. Following that, she raised their 2 children almost entirely on her own. Her daughter now lives in Tokyo, while her son lives in Nagano. They make frequent visits. Today, Keiko lives alone in a traditional home on the outskirts of Osaka. She cooks all of her own meals. She walks every morning and still writes actual letters by hand. Keiko's physical attractiveness isn't all that stands out. It's her energy, clarity, lightness of step, and quiet dignity with which she talks. When I met her, I couldn't help but wonder how someone who had endured so much grief, aging, and global change could still radiate such youth. Her response was straightforward. "I take care of minor details," she said. "Every day, I respect life by not hurrying through it." And that's where our adventure starts, in the modest, intentional moments of her daily existence. In the West, we frequently see aging as a countdown, something to struggle against or conceal. But in Japan, things are different. Aging is not to be feared. It is something to be celebrated. Keiko lives by a Japanese concept that has influenced her youth more than any product or regimen. It's called ikigai, a word that doesn't entirely translate but implies something like a cause to exist, a reason to get up in the morning. Her ikigai is neither fame nor luxury. It's simple. Beauty. Contribution. She creates classic ink landscapes. She sends letters to her grandchildren. She also volunteers once a week at the local temple, sweeping the stone paths and arranging flowers. These aren't chores. To her, these are sacred deeds. They give her a purpose. She also belongs to a lifetime social circle, known as a moai. It's a group of close friends who agree to help one another emotionally and practically throughout life. They've been together for more than 40 years. They share meals, stories, and fears. They walk together. In Japan, this type of friendship is not considered a bonus. It is vital for good health. Science now verifies what Japanese culture has long understood. Strong social relationships lower the incidence of dementia, heart disease, and depression. Keiko's smile is not totally natural. It is sustained by long-lasting partnerships. Ritual is another aspect of her everyday routine. Lighting incense, clean thoughtfully, making tea with 2 hands. These seemingly insignificant activities serve to center her. They slow life down. They remind her that this moment is important. When I inquired why she never seems to be in a hurry, she smiled and remarked that rushing causes me to miss out on the beauty. And when you miss beauty, you get older faster. This is the core of the Japanese lifestyle concept. To live slowly, to stay connected, to find meaning in everyday experiences. Keiko is proof that youth is more than just a number. It is a practice. And in her next secret, you'll witness how this practice continues. In her food. If you're wondering why Keiko looks 40 at 75, look no farther than her kitchen. For Keiko, food is medication. It is not something to speed through or consume in front of a television. It is an act of feeding, thankfulness, and harmony. Her diet is traditional, but it is also extremely modern in its wisdom. Scientists from all over the world are now researching the food she consumes, particularly in the areas of anti-aging, gastrointestinal health, and inflammation. Keiko starts each day with what she calls a grounding meal. A tiny bowl of steamed rice, usually a combination of brown, barley, and black rice. She claims it keeps her digestion peaceful and honest. Along with it, a mild miso soup with seaweed and tofu. Grilled fish, typically sardine or mackerel, both high in omega-3 fatty acids. And, of course, seasonal vegetables. Lightly steamed, never overcooked, and frequently served with sesame or a dash of soy. You'll notice there's very little sugar, nearly no dairy, and no processed snacks or dense breads. Instead, her meals are based on 5 essential components: freshness, seasonality, portion management, fermentation, and gratitude. Fermented foods are a staple of Keiko's diet. She eats fermented foods with practically every meal, including miso, natto, and pickled veggies. Why? Because they promote intestinal health. According to Keiko, a peaceful stomach equals a calm mind and a youthful visage. Modern science supports her claims. A healthy gut microbiota is associated with everything from radiant skin to mental clarity to increased immunity. There's another something you won't notice on her table: overeating. Keiko adheres to a traditional practice known as hara hachibyu, which implies eating until you're 80% satisfied. This habit, adopted by Okinawans, who have some of the world's longest life expectancies, lowers calorie overload, aids digestion, and prevents weight gain. And here's the fascinating part. Keiko never diets. She does not keep track of her calorie intake. She isn't obsessed with carbs, keto, or trends. She simply pays attention to her body and stops when she feels full. She trusts the wisdom of hunger and temperance. Keiko does not nibble aimlessly, but she does appreciate food in a unique way. No candy bars or sugary beverages. Instead, she'll eat a small piece of wagashi, a traditional dessert made of rice and beans, and drink matcha or sencha. These teas are high in antioxidants, including HGCG, which has been shown to reduce inflammation, promote brain function, and even prevent skin aging. She drinks tea carefully and deliberately, never on the go, never with her phone. Keiko consumes locally farmed food. She shops at the morning market. She goes local. She eats seasonally. Her diet is rich in fiber, minerals, and low in inflammation. She avoids processed oils, packaged foods, and deep frying. But she never starves herself or skips meals. Her body is nurtured, not punished. Perhaps most importantly, Keiko blesses her food. Before each meal, she pauses and says "Itadakamasu," which means I humbly receive. It's not only polite, it's spiritual. It reminds her to eat with thankfulness rather than guilt, to respect the hands who produce the food, and to never take a full plate for granted. In the West, we pursue youth through pricey treatments and superfood fads. But Keiko keeps a secret. Youth is grown in the garden, cooked on the stove, and enjoyed at the table in tranquility. And this is exactly what she does. Third, we'll look at the third pillar of Keiko's youth. What matters is how she moves her body, not what she puts in it. Keiko, 75, doesn't go to the gym. She does not run marathons. She does not lift weights. But her body is robust. Her spine is straight. Her movements are fluid and painless. And she walks with the serene confidence of someone who is deeply at ease in her body. Keiko does not work out. She moves. She lives in a body that is continually in mild motion, from the moment she awakens to the moment she sleeps. She squats rather than bending. She takes a walk instead of sitting. She extends rather than slouching. And this, she claims, is one of her best secrets to keeping young. She said that still water eventually gets stagnant, as does the body. Every morning, Keiko walks for 30 to 40 minutes, not fast or far, but completely present. She walks to clear her mind, watch the seasons, and feel the rhythm of her breathing. She never hunches. She walks tall, shoulders relaxed, eyes forward, and arms swinging freely. This is not only a custom, it is science. According to studies, daily walking can lessen the risk of dementia, heart disease, depression, and osteoporosis. Keiko stretches for around 10 minutes twice per day. Nothing harsh or spectacular, just enough to wake up her muscles, care for her joints, and reconnect with her breath. These are motions passed down from her mother. Movements modeled after traditional Japanese warm-ups and fundamental forms of doin, an ancient self-healing technique. They help her maintain flexibility, agility, and balance so she never worries about falling. She can still climb stairs effortlessly, move sacks of vegetables from the market, and kneel in her garden. But here's what genuinely stands out about Keiko. It is her posture. She sits like a dancer, shoulders relaxed, chin up, spine long. She moves with grace, even when performing ordinary duties. And this, she claims, was one of the most significant lessons her grandma gave her. The way you hold yourself determines how you carry your life. Good posture protects more than just your joints. It improves respiration, digestion, confidence, and mood. In many parts of the world, these movements are seen as tasks. However, for Keiko, these are daily opportunities to walk mindfully. She cleans barefoot. To keep her feet strong, she squats to retrieve objects rather than using equipment. She maintains her home immaculate not only for the sake of order, but also for agility. She says your home should be like your body, transparent, light, and easy to navigate. Even in quiet, Keiko moves with purpose. She finishes her day sitting in silence, not slouched on a couch. This gentle discipline, founded on presence, alignment, and balance, has shielded her from many of the physical illnesses that come with aging. No back discomfort, no joint replacements, no painkillers, just a body that has been valued rather than ignored. In a culture fascinated with fitness applications and body transformation challenges, Keiko reminds us that the most effective physical practice is one that promotes life rather than performance. She says that how you move determines how you feel. So move like you're alive and happy to be here. If you ask Keiko about her skin, she'll smile and respond, "That's not my skin. My life makes me appear younger." But beneath that modest response lies something powerful, a lifetime of simple, everyday care. No premium brands or pricey treatments, just quiet consistency and wisdom passed down through generations. For Keiko, skincare is never about concealing faults. It is about respecting the face you have been given. She treats her skin the same way she treats her garden, with patience, presence, and delicate hands. Every morning and evening, she does the same steps: cleanse, tone, moisturize, and protect. Nothing flashy or harsh, just traditional Japanese practices based on balance. Keiko starts with a gentle, low pH cleanser, usually made with rice bran or green tea extract. She never uses hot water, only lukewarm, because, in her opinion, hot water may feel great, but it depletes the skin's suppleness. This phase is for removing impurities, not stripping the skin, and she never scrubs. She explains that her skin is silk, not the floor. Step 2. Traditional Japanese toning. Next, she applies her own toner, which is simply a few drops of rice water or green tea pressed in with her hands. There are no cotton pads or garbage, only fingertips and breath. This age-old ritual, passed down from her mother, hydrates the skin and restores pH while providing a moment of relaxation. Step 3. Moisturizing. Inside and out. Keiko's moisturizer is light, typically a blend of camellia oil and squalane, both plant-based and non-comedogenic. She warms it in her palms before pressing it into her face, not rubbing, but pressing. She performs it while taking long breaths. Because, according to Keiko, skin care involves the nervous system. If the heart is tense, the skin follows suit, and she drinks plenty of warm water and tea rather than ice water, believing that the skin requires nourishment from inside, not simply from the bottle. Step 4. Daily sun protection. Keiko has been wearing sunscreen since her 20s, not with SPF 100 or layers of makeup, but as a daily routine to protect her skin from UV, wind, and pollution. She also avoids the sun during peak hours, wears gardening gloves, and never tans. She does not dread aging, but rather respects her body's restrictions. Keiko takes a traditional Japanese bath, or ofuro, once or twice a week. This is a long soak in heated water that commonly includes Epsom salt, yuzu peel, or green tea leaves. She rubs gently with a silk cloth. Never exfoliate vigorously. It's not simply cleansing, it's spiritual. The bath is a place to unwind, reflect on the day, and emerge refreshed. She claims that when I bathe, I remove not just dust but also my problems. After showering, Keiko applies a small layer of rice bran oil to her arms and legs, believing that if you wouldn't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your skin. Every night, she brushes her hair 100 strokes with a wooden comb, as her grandma taught her. It stimulates the scalp, distributes natural oils, and maintains her silver hair looking smooth and elegant. Her hands, still smooth and beautiful, are always gloved when cleaning or gardening. Our hands reveal the truth about our age, she says, so I treat mine like old friends and never overwork them. Keiko believes that the skin reflects the status of the soul. She doesn't want to look younger. She wants to feel better. That sentiment is evident. She once told me that if you want to look young at 75, don't rely on cream. Focus on sleep, calm, and how you talk to yourself when no one is listening. Because, according to Keiko, true beauty does not shine. Rather, it glows quietly, without demanding attention, and represents harmony. Keiko's life is a textbook example of graceful aging, but the most powerful aspect of her narrative isn't her immaculate skin or youthful posture, but her attitude toward life. So, what can you learn from Keiko's journey? What are the practical, daily activities you can take to boost your personal vitality, regardless of your age?
1.
Embrace simplicity and routine. Keiko's everyday life is structured around basic, sustaining routines. She avoids adding additional stress to her days. She rises early, eats carefully, and moves deliberately. What you can do: start with tiny, focused practices. Wake up at the same hour every day. Consume food that is fresh, uncomplicated, and full of nutrients. Remove all needless clutter from your home and thinking. Simplicity is the first step towards tranquility.
2.
Find your ikigai, Your reason to wake up Keiko has a strong sense of purpose. She has a reason to get up every morning, whether it's to tend to her garden, write letters, or spend time with family members. What you can do: discover your own ikigai. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be a pastime, a passion, or a project that you enjoy and find engaging. When you have something to look forward to, age becomes just another stage in life. 3. Respect your body. Movement is life. Keiko does not exercise for appearance. She moves because her body is worth respecting. Her modest everyday activities, such as walking, stretching, and mild activity, maintain her supple and strong. What you can do: instead of strenuous workouts, focus on regular movement. Stretch every day. Walk 20 to 30 minutes per day. Practice proper posture. Take the staircase. Your body will repay you by being flexible, strong, and energized. 4. Cultivate emotional resilience and let go of bitterness. Keiko has mastered the skill of letting go. She refuses to allow bitterness or regret overtake her. Instead, she cultivates inner calm while accepting life as it is. What you can do: let go of old grievances. Forgive yourself first and foremost, not for the sake of others. Make time for healing if you have encountered loss or pain. Surround yourself with optimism and eliminate negativity, both in persons and thoughts. 5. Stay connected and nurture your relationships. Keiko's relationships are the foundation of her lifetime. She devotes time and energy to those who make her happy and peaceful. What you can do: create your own support system. Spend time with family and friends who inspire and support you. Share your thoughts, heart, and time. Loneliness accelerates aging. Connection is a tremendous motivator for energy. Finally, Keiko shows us how to be present in our lives. Every moment is an opportunity to express thanks, and each day is a gift. What you can do: practice mindfulness. Find moments of silence every day to absorb the beauty around you. Allow yourself to be grateful for the sounds of birds, the taste of a warm meal, or the laughter of loved ones. A grateful heart is eternally youthful. Keiko's life demonstrates that there is no reason to be afraid about getting older. This is something to celebrate, because the beauty of life lies not in how youthful we appear, but in how vibrantly we live. The secrets to aging gracefully, vitally, and peacefully are not concealed in jars or tablets. They exist in the way we choose to live each day. So, start today. Start with little steps. Remember, youth isn't something you pursue. It's something you develop from within. If Keiko's story inspired you, subscribe to receive more advice on how to age gracefully and live your best life. Thank you for watching.